Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astrogate Mysore, and today let us understand the Papa Kartari Yoga or Shubha Kartari Yoga. So that's why I've written it as Kartari Yogas. So yesterday or day before yesterday, Pani Kishan had asked a very pertinent question as to in the Kartari Yogas, if a planet is involved in the middle, or should that house always be empty? A very perfect question that is. So let us give some clarity. Let me give some clarity on this. So what is a Kartari Yoga? So I have put both sort of charts, the South Indian chart and the North Indian chart for the convenience. So let us go slowly. So let me take one ascendant. I have taken the Simha Rashi, so which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is Simha Rashi, Leo. Simha Rashi means Leo. And from that, I will be talking about the seventh house with regard to relationship, whether the Papa Kartari Yoga is going to affect and how it will affect and what sort of placements. So we are having an exalted Mars here, exalted Mars in the sixth house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Jupiter in the eighth house. Exalted Mars in the sixth house and Jupiter in the eighth house. So Mars is the Yoga Karaka planet. Mars is the Yoga Karaka. How is it a Yoga Karaka? Because it is the fourth lord and the ninth lord. So let me see the same thing in the North Indian chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So this is Capricorn, that is the 10th house. 10th, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the 11th sign, the 12th sign. So we have Jupiter in Pisces. So there is a Kartari formation. That is, there are two planets on either side of the seventh house. So this is the seventh house. This is the 11th sign, the seventh house. I'm not going into the Bhava chart in detail, so this much only we'll talk. We'll go into the Navamsa also to understand how this actually works. So this is a Shubha Kartari Yoga. Shubha Kartari means it's a benefic Kartari. Shubha Kartari. That is, the planets associated which are hemming on either side of the seventh house they are good planets, benefic planets, planets which are good to the ascendant. So from the ascendant sign, the fifth lord Jupiter and the eighth lord Jupiter sitting in the eighth house, giving rise to a Viparita Raja Yoga. The fourth and the ninth lord Mars in the sixth house. So on the first impression would be that this is a very tough chart, a tough placement, because sixth house Mars, Jupiter in the eighth house, it's a very tough placement. But for the seventh house, this is a Shubha Kartari Yoga. It gives good results to the seventh house. So as Pani Kishan had asked a question, so what if I put another planet there? So let me put the ascendant lord itself, the sun. So I am putting sun in the seventh house. Sun in the seventh house is a weak placement because sun actually loves the first house, the 10th house, even a little bit of the ninth house. So these dikbalas are good there, directional strength, but it is weak in the seventh house. But here in this case, because sun has two friends on either side, it gives rise to what we call as Ubhayachara Yoga. Ubhayachari Yoga, in which there are Vesi, Vasi, Ubhayachari. That is, there are two planets on either side of sun which are actually supportive and gives a progressive result to sun. So it will lift that particular planet, and it's a good Kartari Yoga. The significations of sun also are lifted. So the same way, if I put a negative yoga, you will understand. So let me now take this Shubha Kartari Yoga into the Navamsa. So if this goes into the Navamsa, so let us say this is a Vargottama. Vargottama means if Jupiter is in Revati Nakshatra, the last quarter, it becomes a Vargottama. So Jupiter here. Varga Uttama. This Varga, the D9 Varga becomes Uttama. That means it goes to a elevated position. Okay. So let us say Sun, it's in a Chara, Sthira, Dvisabhava. So Sthira. So Sthira means the Navamshas will start from the fifth, from 195, ninth from it. So let us say it is in the seventh Amsha. So it falls here. Okay, I'm just giving you a very trying to put it in right places. So this is in Chara. So let us say this is exalted, but it is in the third Amsha, 1, 2, 3. So third Amsha of Capricorn will fall in Pisces. So it is here. So in the Navamsha chart, these are very well placed. So the same planets are all very well placed in the Navamsha, and it shows an excellent result for the seventh house for this particular chart. So if I put it in the North Indian chart and I take the Lagna, let me put Lagna also somewhere. So let us take, this is Chara, Sthira, Drisabhava, 1, 7, 8, 9. So let me put the ascendant here, 1, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The seventh Amsha, if I take the ascendant, will fall here in the Navamsha Lagna. And it shows that Sun is both in the seventh house in the Rashi Kundali and again the seventh house in the Amsha Kundali. A very strong placement, and it shows that planets are happily placed. And in case, though it is not the friendly position, it is the house of Venus also, then this chart is an example for Shubha Kartari Yoga. So the enhancement of the planet which is hemmed between is seen in this particular combination. So going ahead into a Papa Kartari Yoga, let me change it, the same setting, into a Papa Kartari Yoga. So if I go into it, let me change the planets here. I don't have my camera person today to pause and again do it. So as you saw that I was operating the camera myself. So going into another ascendant, let me take a fresh ascendant. So let me take Libra. Now, the placement of the sixth lord in the sixth house as Jupiter would be giving rise to a malefic combination for this particular chart to the seventh house. I am only talking about the seventh house so that it is easy to understand. So, if I put a debilitated Saturn, which is also retrograde with a Jupiter here, and let me put a Sun here. This is clearly known as a Papa Kartari Yoga. It becomes Papa Kartari Yoga. So same thing, if I put it in the North Indian chart, this is 7, that is Libra. We have a retro Saturn here. we have Sun in the 8th house and Jupiter in the 6th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is giving rise to a Papa Kartari Yoga. That means there will be less stability in marriage. So if I take up the same thing into the Navamsa Kundli, now I'll be explaining it in the North Indian style. So let me make this as Vargottama Lagna, that is, it is within the first quarter, that is Chitta Nakshatra, third pada. So if I put it here, so let me say this is 7, that is Libra, and the 7th house again falls in Aries. And what if this is also retrograde and debilitated, and let us say it is also an in the 7th house? So that means they are exactly opposites. This is first quarter here and this is also first quarter here. So let us say they are exactly opposite, and if the planets are sitting one over the other, that is, if I put this at first pada and if I take this in the third pada, that is within 6 degrees 40 minutes to 10 degrees. So this will be like 7, 1, 2, 7, 9, 1, 2, 3. So it will be sitting in Pisces. So if I take Jupiter into its 5th quarter, let us take the 5th quarter, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it is somewhere in the middle. So it will be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be here. So that is next to Libra. Next to Libra is Scorpio. So Jupiter is here. So if I take this combination, it still hurts the Navamsa. The Navamsa is also hit. We have a retro Saturn in the 7th house, Nicha Vakra Shani, which is again going through a Papa Kartari Yoga. So as the doubt was that whether the planet which is involved inside the Kartari Yoga, as Saturn is involved here, will it get disturbed? Obviously it will get disturbed because it is now hemmed between Sun and Jupiter, which are temporary and permanent malefics for the ascendant. But if you go to the temporary friendships, this thing is to be noted. Sun is on either side of the planet. Sun is on the right side of the planet and Jupiter is on the left side of Saturn. So any planet within the second, third, and fourth, and 12th, 11th, and 10th houses from a given planet, if there are planets, they become temporary friends. So here, from the perspective of Saturn, Jupiter and Sun both become neutrals because they are enemies in the natural friendship and enmity, and in the Tatkalika Mitratva, that is temporary friendship and enmity, they become friends. So they friend and neutral, friend and enemy, they get cancelled and become neutral. So this in between these two, they become neutral. But from the ascendant, this is going through a Papa Kartari Yoga. So thank you very much for today's class.